Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host here, Eric Rodriguez here, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, talk about all things wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, talk about rumors within the wrestling world. Also, we talk about a little bit, behind the curtain and stuff like that. So make sure you, buckle up for an amazing wrestling ride. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Obviously it's hot as hell over out here in Southern California. All you guys out there enjoying that good weather. I'm just kidding. No, it's so crazy how crazy the heat waves going around. Like, I don't know. It's supposed to be really hot in Southern California. I know, y'all tuning in from Florida, from South Beach, Florida, kind of feel me here. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today lined up on tap. Today, our segment one, we have WWE Smackdown. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. Then we're going to jump on into our men's wrestling power rankings. I'm going to give you my top 10 men's wrestlers. Make sure you shoot up in the chat. Tell me who you think is, your top men's wrestlers out there on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, Ring of Honor, MLW, you name it, AEW. We have all these guys up here. So, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Also, fourth segment, we're going to talk about women's wrestling. Women's wrestling as well. We have power rankings for them as well. So make sure, all these badass women that kick ass inside and outside of the ring. Make sure you chat me your favorite, women's wrestlers with, AEW, TNA, WWE. And lastly, we're going to hit on, usually we have our Monday Memorial that I kind of go through wrestlers who have passed, that we talk about the legacy and just everything they left for professional wrestling, their families, for the fans. But today we're gonna talk about something else. We're gonna talk about Ricochet, his next move, his next wrestling move. It's his contract's expiring midnight of tonight. So if WWE really wants to keep Ricochet, which I think they should, you're probably going to see probably a deal being made either tonight, or if not tonight, you're going to see free agency, much like you kind of see Becky Lynch. But yeah, it should be pretty awesome show. So make sure you stay tuned. Before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air in front of millions of people, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me some things about wrestling, or tell me your favorite superstar. Give me a shout out of where you're listening from today. Shoot me absolutely anything in terms of professional wrestling. Us fans, obviously, we got to stick together. Professional wrestling is, kind of a niche, audience. You know what I mean? Like when you see a guy walking in Walmart or in the park or at Disneyland and you see someone wearing seeing a wrestling shirt, you automatically be like, dude, I can talk to this guy for probably like 30 minutes. So, I think that's pretty cool. I definitely think that's pretty cool. Once again, it really helps the show, guys. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show and, support it. Also follow the network as well as the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast to see more of me. Again, the link is at the gsmcpodcast.net. So without further ado, we're going to talk about our first segment, WWE Smackdown review. So let's go ahead and, just kind of, touch on this a little bit. We had the Bloodline. The Bloodline started off, they came out looking badass, looking newly rejuvenated, not seeming like they need anything of Roman Reigns or The Rock. So it's pretty clear right now in terms of WWE, it's pretty clear that Solo Sikoa honestly kind of wants to venture out on his own here. He does not want to be part of any other legacy beside his own. I think he basically, what's that word? He basically, oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember that word. Not like sold out his family, not sold out his family. He basically he doesn't want anything to do with him. He's kind of using the family name, the legacy as like a way so he can get his. So honestly, I think disown. There we go. Oh my God, I can't believe I couldn't have thought of that word. It's crazy. I think Solo Sikoa's kind of disowning, Roman Reigns in terms of this. I honestly don't think he's heard anything from Roman, like he's claimed to talk to about the wiseman. But it was crazy. They came out. There was an absolute brawl. You saw Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens and Randy Orton confront the Bloodline, and they basically killed them. They basically kicked their ass. It was actually super cool to watch. I didn't honestly have any problems with with that, but I just like I said, I am kind of on the side of. I feel like they're pushing this Bloodline storyline with Cody Rhodes too soon. But then again, that could just mean that they're leaving, Cody Rhodes to The Rock in the future because even Paul Heyman told Solo Sikoa, they're like, hey, Cody Rhodes he's off limits. Him and CM Punk, they're off limits, Solo. But then Solo wanted to do whatever he wanted to do, kind of jumped the gun there, which makes you think that I think the number one opponent that Solo Sikoa is going to fight, it's probably going to be Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns comes back, I think SummerSlam's a little too soon, to be honest. I don't know, Bash at Berlin, I'm not too sure. Definitely around Survivor Series, they want to set up that Bloodline versus Bloodline kind of matchup there. But I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see how they kind of put Roman Reigns within this Bloodline storyline, and basically the Roman Reigns is gonna be the guy that's gonna be the biggest heel ever, turn to the biggest babyface, and I don't think that's ever happened within WWE history. I know, obviously, if you disagree with me, hit up the chat. We never seen this before. I honestly, like in my tenure as wrestling, usually it takes a little while for the heel to come back and then all of a sudden he comes back and it's just like, it takes time. It takes time. It takes promos. It takes matches. It takes, backstage interviews. But mostly it's going to be pretty crazy. I got a chat right here from my man, Little Fettuccine 68 saying that Roman Reigns is coming back at SummerSlam. I hope. I think that would be so freaking cool. That would be amazing. Obviously kind of setting up basically the legacy that his father kind of left, and his father recently passed, Sikoa. But I believe in Roman Reigns. I feel like this is going to be a great spot for Roman. All this time, WWE tried so hard. They tried so hard to push Roman Reigns down the WWE Universe's throat after he broke up, after the Shield broke up, and he was all alone. They were like, you know what? This is all you. You take over the time. This is your thing. And then they would boo him. The WWE Universe would boo him. They would just, they hated Roman Reigns. And, they took him to go heel. He went heel, did it for a really, really good for about 3 to 4 years, had a historic title run for 1,316 days. And now you kind of have him, jump into the, babyface. So, I think that's kind of well deserved. But anyways, running out of time, just kind of hit on a couple other things here. Yeah. So Solo Sikoa has basically been working the Bloodline. No one's really surprised by that. Cody Rhodes says there's no boss in the Bloodline. There's no tribal chief. And kind of stopped right there. That's when they were escorted by Nick Aldis when they left the building. Nick Aldis did promise the Bloodline a ceremonial acknowledgement of Jacob Fatu. So, that it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Next, we have Candice LeRae, Jade Cargill against Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat match for Money in the Bank qualifying match for the women's match. Both Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair failed to kind of get a spot, which makes you think that maybe they might have a tag team run again. Maybe they could be challenging for the women's championship once again, kind of invoking their rematch clause, which I think will ultimately kind of break them up. To be honest, you kind of have like we were talking about last podcast, how a lot of these women superstars are either injured or inactive. They kind of need Bianca to be Bianca, and they kind of need Jade to be Jade. They can't really have these two, heavyweights in the women's division team up constantly. I feel like it kind of robs the audience of the singles career, the storylines, and the push they both could possibly be getting. But I don't know. WWE under the Paul Levesque era seems pretty good so far. So there might be obviously a little bit more, maybe some kind of nuance. Maybe some kind of nuance to the storyline and stuff like that. I know ever since kind of TKO took over and Vince McMahon kind of, disappear from the WWE. I feel like it's a whole different product, and I feel like it's going to be established within these next couple of months. So, pretty badass. Tiffany Stratton, once again, she won. She kicks ass. She's amazing. She's the future of the WWE. She's kind of in that boat where I was honestly kind of putting my money on Chelsea Green, because Chelsea Green was kind of like that antagonist. As soon as Tiffany Stratton won, I knew it was kind of over for Chelsea. And I feel so bad because Chelsea Green, I was like, dude, she would have been amazing like Money in the Bank. Kind of reminds you of like a Carmella, but like a little stronger, because Chelsea Green, she does have a lot of potential. She's very, she's dominant when she wants to be. When she's in the zone, she could beat people like Bianca Belair. She can beat women like Jade Cargill and Bailey and Nia Jax, pushing Nia Jax, but but I don't know. It's going to be an interesting call here. Right now, if I had to put my money on it, I'd put the house on Tiffany Stratton to win, because now you kind of have that villain role. Nia Jax probably wins the championship at SummerSlam. The two have to break up. Tiffany Stratton be like, I used you the whole time, this and that and the other to get to the closer to the WWE Women's Championship. So that could possibly be it. Next we have Pretty Deadly. They had a promo in the backstage with the Street Profits. It was good to see Pretty Deadly come back. Once again, I feel like the WWE tag team division is kind of going through like a renaissance, going through a bit of a revolution here. I feel like this is probably the most talent you've kind of had in the tag team division in such a long time, since probably the 90s or 80s of the NWA and also the WWF/WWE. So, tag teams should be tag teams, man. 1,010%. A tag team should be a tag team. No more Austin Theory, Grayson Waller. No more, R-Truth and also The Miz. You don't need any of that right now. I feel like for WWE, because there's superstars that are basically signed just to be tag team participants. Like, for example, would you ever see like who's that? Like you did see Eric, not Eric. Oh my God. Ivar. You did see Ivar after Eric got injured from the Viking Raiders, and there wasn't really much push for a singles career. That's because he's better as a tag team. Like you saw the New Day, like although there was Kofi Mania when, but then you had Big E, also Xavier Woods, and it was good. And then now you have Jimmy and Jay who broke up. Jay Uso's having one hell of a singles career. But, to be honest, I feel like most of his success is in the tag team division. I could possibly see him. I don't know. It's not that I don't believe in Jay Uso. I think he's talented as hell. But, right now, I don't know. I think I need a little more persuading right here. All right, so next we see Santos Escobar, Logan Paul, and the LA Knight fight. But overall, we saw the LA Knight prevail. I was totally shocked. I didn't think that was going to happen. After the match, you saw a promo with the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, and the New York Knicks' Jalen Brunson. It was pretty badass. Tyrese Halliburton gave the brass knucks to Logan Paul, signifying that he is part of the heel turn of Logan Paul. But then you saw Jalen Brunson was like, enough is enough. Obviously, in the NBA playoffs, in the semifinals, I believe, the Eastern Conference semifinals, you saw, the New York Knicks falter to the younger and the more, healthier Indiana Pacers. So, Tyrese Halliburton was kind of flexing a little bit. And then Jalen Brunson came out, the hero. It was in Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks play every night. So he brought out the steel chair, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought that was, obviously pretty badass. And moving on, we have the Solo Sikoa came out. They had the tribute, so to speak. My enforcer. He said, he also said, acknowledge me, which was pretty crazy. As soon as he said that, I kind of knew Paul Heyman was done. I was like, oh my God, because I was going to do a segment on the last show about, Paul Heyman eventually quitting the Bloodline. And I should have did it. They would have been like, oh, Eric knew all along, but, but I don't find glory being right all the time. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know. I just feel like Paul Heyman, he did his job. He's out of the bloodline. He's going to be out for probably longer than 2 months, which makes me believe that you will not see Roman Reigns at WWE SummerSlam. These guys are coming back together. There's speculation as well that he will return to either do two things, is to kind of manage CM Punk or to manage Brock Lesnar once again. But I don't know. It's still kind of up in the air. So should be interesting. But he failed to acknowledge the new tribal chief, which pissed off Solo Sikoa. They drove him to through an announce table. It was crazy. To be honest, I was like, I know he's an old man. He's about 200 plus, like 275 probably plus pounds. I was like, oh no, I hope this doesn't kill the poor guy. But Paul Heyman's strong. Paul Heyman, obviously ECW. But and lastly, we saw the Naomi defeat Blair Davenport and Indi Hartwell in a triple threat match, securing her spot in the Money in the Bank. Will she cash in on her best friend Bailey? Well, only time will tell. I feel like that'd be pretty awesome to turn Naomi heel there. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to move on to our second segment. We have Monday Night Raw airing right now. Swear to God, I have not checked out any, wrestling content, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, nothing at all. So I'm like I'm in the woods. It's airing on the West Coast right now as we speak on the USA Network. So honestly, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack, and tune into my second segment about the preview of Monday Night Raw. Let's go.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, giving you guys all the cool things about wrestling, everything you love, definitely what I love. Us wrestling fans, we're a huge fandom. Got to stay together. Wrestling has kind of been accepted more normally, normally lately. I don't know if that's weird to say, because I feel like as soon as people kind of realize that wrestling is just like, it's wrestling. It's an entertainment. It's kind of watching your favorite. I'm not trying to sound like, it's like watching your favorite entertainment with full of action, drama, that a lot of people, I want to watch House of Dragons, or I want to watch Chicago PD or Chicago Fire, something like that, or, Law and Order. Law and Order, by the way, has been around for such a long time. I wonder when that show's going to die. It's going to be kind of crazy. But anyways, the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast takes you behind the curtain, takes you, behind the stage, also all the action inside and outside of the ring. We talk about contract negotiations. We talk about stuff that happens in show, talk about things that, a lot of things that you won't hear from like your, regular wrestling kind of universe. So join Eric Rodriguez, yo man, all the time, Monday through Friday, every 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So guys, our next segment, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw preview. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to use the GSMC podcast.net link for the tips and donations. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Let me know what you think is going to happen on WWE Smackdown. WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. Well, also WWE Smackdown. It's the final Smackdown, the final Raw before Money in the Bank. So to ensure that your question gets read on air in front of millions of people, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net with your questions. So remember to like and subscribe to the show, and also follow the network as well as my show, the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. All right, so we are live. We are live from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, will take on his son Dominic, Dirty Dom. Hopefully making it a 3-0, 3-0 against Dominic Mysterio. I think that'd be pretty badass, honestly, in my opinion. I would love to see Dominic spanked, figuratively, of course, on the, condoning, people hitting their kids and stuff like that. But right now, Dirty Dom needs to be taught a lesson. Just kidding. He's kind of I know behind, kind of, breaking kayfabe a little bit. He's injured. He's injured. He was supposed to go through Tommy John surgery. Obviously, did not kind of go through it. It was told that he was going to kind of rehab his injury, kind of on the low key. I don't think you're going to see much wrestling in this match. More tormenting. Maybe Judgment Day kind of gets involved. I don't see this match as the main event. Although, it could be airing right now and be like, Eric, what are you talking about? It was a main event, but I just don't see it. I just don't see Dominic kind of doing an actual wrestling match. There's going to be some maybe like I said, some torment. Maybe throwing him in the ring, outside of the ring, a little cat and mouse. Judgment Day gets involved. Braun Strowman gets involved. The LWO gets involved. But I don't know. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I could ultimately see if I had to kind of, if I put my wrestling cap on and I was like, okay, how would I dictate this match to the point where Rey Mysterio still kind of looks badass and looks like he can kick his ass's son, or if I can have his son, still in that hero role, but still being Dirty Dom. I think if I had to do it, I would put maybe Liv Morgan breaks up the match. She stands in front of Dominic Mysterio like Dom did in front of Rey Mysterio last week. And then Zelina Vega comes out. And then that's when the challenge with, Liv Morgan kind of happens. I feel like that would be pretty badass. I feel like that would be the best way for Dom not to get hurt. And also Rey Mysterio to still kind of go out as a G-Dog baby. No, I think that'd be pretty badass. All right, moving on. We have, Liv has recently been helping the Judgment Day. She helped them reclaim the WWE World Tag Team titles from The Miz and Awesome and not Awesome and R-Truth. So, it's kind of crazy. When Rhea Ripley returns, it's going to be probably the biggest face in the world of wrestling right now. Can I say that? I think so. I honestly do think so because before even Rhea Ripley kind of got injured before she kind of left the boat there, and I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy the way Liv Morgan's character is kind of going right now. She cannot lose her first match against Rhea Ripley. Like when Rhea comes back, I would think it would be stupid for WWE to automatically put the WWE World Women's Championship back on her because it would just create for just nothing, just so much like nothing. But if you had Liv Morgan defeating Rhea Ripley thanks to Dominic Mysterio, kind of, kind of destroying Mommy's, rematch clause to the point where she has to make it back up to the top again through the bottom because Rhea Ripley's just so dominant. She's just the sure win. She's just a sure thing. Whenever you watch her fighting, you're like, dude, this girl's going to, you kind of know she's going to win. So, to establish a good character for Liv Morgan, which I pray the WWE does, because still, as a wrestling fan, I still watch Liv Morgan on TV, and I'm like, man, I still kind of don't buy it. Once, you kind of see it with Liv Morgan, a lot of speculations, in terms of, wrestling fans highly criticize this on social media, like Bayley, like Cody Rhodes, where you're not really that great of a champion, like getting attention and stuff like that via social media. You're more of a chaser. Your journey, your attention is better once when you're trying to chase the championship. All the obstacles, all the momentum, all the charisma you kind of have to create to kind of win over the crowd, to ultimately win the championship. But in terms of professional wrestling, this is obviously an entity, kind of an issue that has been kind of hard. It's been hard to kind of master. Whenever that kind of happens, usually they go, okay, let's turn this person heel, see how that feels. But sometimes that doesn't always work. So, should be interested to find out what happens when Rhea Ripley comes back. Next, you're going to see a triple threat match. Zoe Stark against Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. Money in the Bank women's qualifier. I honestly really would love to see Zoe Stark win. And I just say Zoe Stark because, she's been in the WWE ever since being called up by WWE NXT. I doubt they would let Dakota Kai win because obviously you kind of have the Io Sky. I think Dakota Kai and Kairi Singh are most likely going to jump toward, the WWE Women's World Titles once again. Bringing it back to Damage Control. Ivy Nile, I believe in Ivy Nile. She's a dog. She's the pit bull of the Creed brothers and stuff like that. I probably would think the best person to kind of hold their own in terms of the Money in the Bank would probably be Zoe Stark. All right, next we have Zelina Vega to challenge Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Championship. Excuse me. Something that I kind of credit AEW, Ring of Honor, and also TNA is that I love the Proving Ground match. The Proving Ground match is if the competitor lasts longer than 10 minutes, or if they win the match, they get a future title shot. So I feel like Zelina Vega needs to challenge Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan has not defended her championship at all. Ever since she beat Becky, it's just been, flirtations with Dominic Mysterio, helping the Judgment Day, trying to get in their good graces, trying to win over the WWE crowd or trying to turn her heel, just trying to say, oh, I'm such a good person. It's just, right now, Liv Morgan, I know it's working right now for WWE, but in my opinion, I kind of hate it. I've always kind of hated romantic relationships within the WWE. You've seen it fail quite a lot, but I feel like for Liv Morgan to have a successful, kind of successful career as a champion, WWE kind of needs to do this right. And these next 2 weeks in Money in the Bank, and obviously the Raw before Money in the Bank is crucial. All right, and we have Sheamus against Drew McIntyre against Ilya Dragunov. I think Drew McIntyre wins this match. The briefcase that's been cursing him every single time he lost his championship was because he was cashed in on. I think now the shoe goes on the other foot. Drew McIntyre wins the briefcase. Then you have Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross against Xavier Woods. Will Xavier Woods finally turn on his brother, Kofi Kingston? Maybe. I don't want to see it happening. Honestly, I don't really see a point. You're going to have that, the promos with Karrion Kross pumping up Xavier Woods, be like, you can do this, you got this, you're a monster, you can do this all by yourself. Dude, honestly, no one wants to see that crap. Me as a WWE fan, I'm like, dude, I really don't want to see that. I would rather see them trying to make a stab at the WWE Tag Team Championship once again. And then lastly, we got Uncle Howdy. You got the Wide Six out there. We still got to, anticipate some kind of, I don't know if Pat McAfee's going to be there on Monday Night Raw. I think he is. I'm 97% sure. Also, we're going to see more confrontations between Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. So make sure you tune into a WWE Monday Night Raw happening as we speak. Can't wait to watch it, have it on record. Can't wait to dive on into it. Well, guys, without further ado, our third segment, we're going to talk about men's wrestling power rankings. Shoot in the chat. Who do you think the top 10 wrestling junkies are in terms of the men's division? Who's the most powerful? Is it going to be Moose, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Nick Nemeth? Is it going to be, Cody Rhodes? Give me your list. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. So once again, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, giving you guys every single thing about the professional wrestling industry, all the stuff happening behind the curtain, all the rumors within the wrestling news industry, also all the action inside and outside of the ring. So, we recently got done talking about our WWE Smackdown review. Make sure you check out that video on YouTube. Also, we have our WWE Monday Night Raw preview live in Boston, Massachusetts. And now we're going to jump on into our third segment, men's wrestling power rankings. But before we do that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your questions, comments, and concerns in terms of professional wrestling. Even give me a shout out where you're listening from. Let it be like, hey, yo, it's your boy Dominic from Philadelphia, or your boy Max from Chicago. It could be just anything, absolutely anything in terms of professional wrestling. So, there is no right or wrong answer. Don't be too shy. I love hearing chat. The game is a lot. The podcasting world is a lot better with audience, kind of getting involved. So, definitely remember to hit up that GSMC podcast net, like, subscribe, follow the show, also the GSMC Sports Network. It really does help the show, guys, here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So, let's dig on into it. So we're going to talk about our men's power rankings. Let's do this. And why? There we go. All right, so we're going to start off with number 10. Number 10, I have Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa, for the longest time, I'm still a little skeptical about this. Is he being outshined by Jacob Fatu? Maybe, but right now he's kind of in the driver's seat. Something that you have to respect about a WWE heel, or just a heel in general, in terms of the professional wrestling industry, is that they're going to do whatever it takes to win. Even if it looks like, some guys are better, because, during the later segments of the Bloodline with Roman Reigns, people had speculations that Jey Uso was kind of outshining the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. But then that's just what it's all about. That's exactly what they're there for. And for that, I highly respect Solo Sikoa. I loved that promo, getting rid of Paul Heyman on WWE Smackdown. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty gruesome. I feel bad for the guy. In terms of kayfabe, my thoughts and prayers are with Paul Heyman right now, hoping for a speedy recovery. So at number 10, I have Solo Sikoa. At number 9, I got EC3. EC3 still holding the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance's brand, on his back. Solamente. Not a lot of good wrestlers. I'm not trying to be mean, or I'm not trying to seem like, because I dabble on the NWA Power episodes on the CW app. Maybe with a little more, I don't want to seem greedy. Maybe with a little bit more money into the promotion and the product. I feel like maybe it could be a possible wrestling. I know the NWA has recently stated that they're looking for an invasion angle to kind of partner with some of these wrestling promotions to kind of help out their brand. The NWA has been around probably the longest out of every wrestling promotion, the AEW, the WWE, also, TNA. So, would love to see it kind of make a comeback. Will it kind of kill over? Obviously, you kind of have the vice president, Billy Corgan, of the frontman of Smashing Pumpkins. I don't think he would ever kind of let it go under, but gotta respect EC3 as the world champion over there in NWA. At number 8, I have Trick Williams. Trick Williams has a hell of a match, a fatal 4-way match against Ethan Page, against Shawn Spears, and also against the young OG, Javon Evans, heading toward Heatwave on Saturday. It's going to be big. It's going to be pretty, this is going to be probably the biggest match that Trick Williams is going to ever have to face in his career. A lot of people want his title. And now you kind of have speculations that the NXT will be working with with TNA, possibly the NWA, if it's approved for the partnership with TNA and WWE. It's Trick Williams so far has represented the title really, really well. I feel like the hardest thing to do, especially if you are in NXT, if you are a rising star after the WWE draft, where you see main stars like Dijak, which, kind of ended kind of badly, Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, et cetera, leaving the NXT brand. You're basically like, you're giving the keys to the Ferrari, kid. You're like, hey, man, don't crash it. Let's see how you do with this. And if we like you, we will keep you. We will give you these keys. Oh, well, in his case, it's not a Ferrari. It's the WWE World NXT Championship, which is way more prestigious than some BS Ferrari. Who wants a Ferrari instead of the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Championship? I know I don't. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know. Trick Williams gotta respect Trick Williams. 1,010%. At number 7, I put this down here because you gotta respect Moose. Moose has been a very, very, very dominant TNA Impact World Heavyweight Champion. No one's going to take him down. I don't think Jeff Hardy, even though he made such a statement coming back to TNA. And it's kind of crazy. Maybe I should say NXT because of the partnership. I'm just kidding. But it's gonna be. I can't think of anybody, even on the NXT roster. I really can't think of anybody who can defeat Moose. To be honest, being brutally honest, he's an amazing TNA Impact, wrestler, personnel, the best champion, the leader of the system. So, gotta respect Moose. My man Moose at number 7. At number 6, I got Will Ospreay, the AEW International Champion, has failed. He lost against Will Ospreay, against Swerve Strickland. Swerve. And you can't fault him for that. You honestly can't hate on Will Ospreay, because he's amazing. He's the best wrestler in the whole entire world. I don't think there's anybody who can get the job done like Will Ospreay. Obviously you kind of have Kenny Omega. You now have sort of, I want to say Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles in that nature. But, you think about wrestling internationally, you got to think of Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin. He's done it all. He's wrestling in every single wrestling promotion you could possibly think of. Of course, I'm not stupid. I know that, oh, Eric, he didn't do this. He didn't do that. He didn't do, come on. You got to respect. You got to give flowers. You got to give credit whenever they're due. And Will Ospreay, although he did lose against Swerve last night on AEW Forbidden Door, I don't really discredit that. It's not an arbitration to, his legacy, to his furthermore challenges, and also his further success. So I think Will Ospreay is perfect right there at that 6th spot. At number 5, I got Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is the man. He was, he was 8 last week. This week, he's number 5. He defeated the Ring of Honor television champion, the hot, the young, the dominant, the ruthless Kyle Fletcher. So much credit due to this man right here. Kyle Fletcher has been the hottest superstar in Ring of Honor. He hasn't lost a match since 2022. 2022, he's had more than 18 consecutive victories. Came through screeching hold against Mark Briscoe. Obviously, super hungry. Ring of Honor, you have an amazing champion right here. I kind of talked about it, and I kind of reiterated on it over and over again on my podcast. If there was anybody that was going to dethrone Mark Briscoe, I felt like it should have been Kyle Fletcher. Absolutely love seeing Mark Briscoe retain that championship. So, credit to him. At number 4, I got Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, the heart of the New Japan Professional Wrestling, retained his IWGP Championship at AEW Forbidden Door. You can't stop this guy. This guy is, I don't know anyone who will beat Jon Moxley out of, I know there's Takeshita, there's also Takahashi, there's Tagachi, who recently defeated Daniel Bryan for the Owen Hart. No, he lost against Owen Hart. He lost against Daniel Bryan in Owen Hart Cup. It's hard. And Katsuyori Naito, Naito was a very, very good prospect. It looked like he had a chance to defeat Jon Moxley. But I watched AEW and Forbidden Door, which I'm going to do a full review on it next episode, so make sure you tune into that. But Jon Moxley definitely on the list at number 4. At number 3, I got Damian Priest, El Campeon. once again, I feel like, I think Seth Rollins kind of mentioned it on last WWE Raw that Damian Priest, after all the injuries, after all the BS that WWE's kind of going through, no Roman Reigns, no more Brock Lesnar. You have Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. You have, so many superstars. You had CM Punk get injured. You had Drew McIntyre, out of the picture for a little while. And Damian Priest kind of held it all together. So for that, I highly throw roses. I highly respect, Damian Priest. I have him sitting at number 3. At number 2, I have the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland, whose house? Swerve's house. Honestly, this guy takes challenges and he just mows down opponents, knocks them down one after one after one. I love Swerve Strickland. I feel like he's definitely one of the best AEW World Heavyweight Champions. He's proved his worth. He's gone through the attributions about it. He's going to kill it. I honestly don't know who's going to take this title from this man. My bet is no one. Because Swerve, it's a Swerve type drive. That's a Swerve. No, but I really honestly love this guy. I feel like he's one of the best wrestlers in professional wrestling right now. Gotta credit, Mr. Swerve Strickland. And of course, at number 1, we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who's killing it. He's killing it. Like I said, like what I've kind of mentioned before with Damian Priest, you've kind of had WWE top stars kind of go AWOL, inactive or injured. You had John Cena retire. People were begging Roman Reigns to take that babyface spot, that ultimate babyface spot. He couldn't take it. The fans knew it was BS. The WWE Universe knew that Vince McMahon and Triple H were just trying to force like Roman Reigns down our throats. Didn't really work. We had to turn Roman. We had to turn him heel. I'm sorry. Let's put Seth in there. Put Seth Rollins in there. He did really, really good. Can he defeat Roman Reigns? Nah. He can't defeat Roman Reigns. Instead, let's give him the World Heavyweight Championship. And he had a great 365 plus day reign. So who's next? Cody Rhodes. Coming from AEW. WrestleMania 39. You know what? Let's let him win. Cody Rhodes did not know he was going to lose that match until mid-match. He was in the ring. I can bet like a referee got him kind of nudged him on the shoulder, be like, "Hey, dude, you're gonna take a spear for the loss. We're gonna have Solo Sikoa." And he's like, "Dude, are you kidding me? You kidding me right now?" So then you had Cody Rhodes lose against Roman Reigns. Cody wins under the Royal Rumble. Then you have The Rock come in. The fans love the idea of a Bloodline Civil War. Who's going to fight for the head of the table? But then the fans, they thought about it. They're like, yeah, but we would rather see Cody Rhodes see if he can finish the story. He did win the Royal Rumble. So yeah. All right, guys. So that's my number 1. I have the American Nightmare sitting right there for Cody Rhodes. Do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our women's. We went through the men's, and now we got to respect the amazing, incredible women's wrestling division. So yeah, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. I wish it was 5 p.m. That'd be pretty badass. But, just kind of give you the runaround, just kind of give you a little heads up. We kind of recently reiterated about our subjects. We had our WWE Smackdown review. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We talked about our men's wrestling power rankings. And without further ado, we're going to jump on into our women's wrestling power rankings. Go ahead and send in the chat who your favorite women's wrestler is right now at the moment. Do they deserve to get some flowers? Who knows? But yeah, let's jump on into it. So at number 10, I got Athena. Athena, I love her. I loved her ever since WWE NXT, formerly known as Ember Moon. WWE couldn't really do much with her character, which was a damn shame. But at number 10, I have her Solamente at number 10 is because I feel like at this point, you kind of like, I love Tasha Steele. I love Queen Aminata. I love, these randoms that Ring of Honor has. But I just don't see anybody who can defeat this girl right now. And I'm not saying it's boring. I'm not trying to be like, oh, like she's a boring champion. But she's stuck to her guns. She's very prominent with I see, she posts on social media. She's a she's the face of the Ring of Honor Women's division. So obviously throwing flowers at that. But Athena, I have her sitting at number 10. At number 9, I got Liv Morgan. I'm not a huge fan of Liv Morgan. I hate that she has not defended her championship. But in terms of wrestling and in terms of superstar success, sometimes you have to just kind of stay backstage, kind of play the storyline, kind of play the promos. So then, that's what she's doing right now. She hasn't fought a match ever since she won, beat Becky Lynch for the WWE World Women's Championship. So I want to see her fight. I got her at number 9, but she was sitting at number 10. I was like, okay. I feel like her and Athena are like, dude, you guys have to fight somebody worthy of taking your title. That's but that's just as a wrestling fan. At number 8, I got Billy Starks. Billy Starks recently on TNA Impact defeated Ali. No. She beat Angelica Risk, I think it was, and for a proving ground match. Love Billy Starks. The way she's representing Ring of Honor, the Women's Television Championship. It's absolutely amazing. You keep going. You keep getting it, girl. At number 7, I have Kaylani Jordan. Kaylani Jordan is the inaugural WWE NXT Women's North American Champion. I want to see her fight somebody more than Mi Chen. You're going to get it. Soruka, I felt like should have won the belt from the get-go. But the reason why they put on Kaylani Jordan, I feel like ultimately it'll kind of bring this young superstar who has all the charisma in the world, all the enthusiasm, all the wrestling skills inside and outside of the ring. She has such a baby face. She's such a baby face, has a huge baby face kind of factor to her. So a lot of fans could back Kaylani Jordan. So, the reason why I have her at number 7 is I see a lot of potential. I kind of had to convince myself. I was like, look, like I said, I kind of thought Soruka was going to win, but, since she's been injury prone within, she was gone for quite a bit. Then she came back. She injured, her ankle. And then she might have injured an ACL. Like, it is just like, okay, WWE's like, okay, what do we have to do? Okay, let's just, so far, consistency. I like Kaylani Jordan. So, all right. At number 6, I got Tiffy. It's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton. I love that she's in your face. I do love that she's in your face. But I kind of don't like the move with Nia Jax. I don't like the fact that they've kind of formed this little partnership. I feel like the reason why Nia Jax actually is not on this list, I feel like I have to explain. I think Nia Jax kind of equivocated with Tiffany Stratton as soon as she, accepted her as her protege. I'm not saying that the reason why Nia Jax isn't on the list is because, teaming up with Tiffany Stratton kind of devalues her stock in terms of professional wrestling. But maybe that's exactly what I'm saying. But I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. Obviously you have the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. I was kind of hoping that she was gonna run through the audience, run through the backstage, run through the women's division on WWE Smackdown, be like, I want Bayley. But maybe they're kind of heading some kind of angle here. Maybe like I was kind of mentioning before with the Money in the Bank, I feel like it was kind of a layup for Chelsea Green. But right now, ever since when Tiffany Stratton won, I was like, I was thinking Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, she's that person. She's that person to kind of be an antagonist. She's that person to kind of be just cocky. I can cash in anytime. I want to trick the crowd a couple of times. I want to run a couple of fake tryouts and stuff like that. But Tiffany Stratton could do that as well. So the moment Tiffany Stratton won, I was like, okay, now Chelsea Green isn't going to win. But, honestly, I think the person raising the briefcase at the end of the night is probably going to be Tiffany Stratton. So it should be pretty interesting. At number 5, I got Bayley. Bayley, she's on the list because, like I said, she's been holding the WWE Smackdown division on her back, much like reciprocated the feelings that I have for Damian Priest. You have a lot of injured superstars, a lot of inactive superstars like Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and they're going to come back. They're going to come back and they're going to go after your title. Bayley, she's 35 years old. Still killing it. Highly respect her. So yeah, I got her at number 5. At number 4, I got Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace, she's been kind of, dropping within the timeline, not timeline, the top 10 from the Gestapo of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, top 10 women of the week. So she needs to fight somebody worthy. Kind of like how you have Athena and Liv Morgan, but you have not Ariana Grace, Jordynne Grace a little higher because I feel like there's stock in her. I feel like she's already accomplished so much. She's an absolute dynamo inside the ring. No one can kind of beat her. So, I have her at number 4. At number 3, I have Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, the WWE NXT World Women's Champion, is kicking ass, taking names. I feel like she's kind of represented the championship really, really well. WWE NXT, much like I kind of mentioned about Trick Williams, you had a lot of people kind of leave via the draft. You had Lyra Valkyria, who were, she was feuding with Roxanne Perez, obviously her best friend, former best friend, Tatum Paxley. But love Roxanne Perez. I think she's an amazing champion so far. She's throughout challenges. They've been putting them up. Ava has been putting them up. She's been putting them down. At number 2, I have Toni Storm, the timeless Toni Storm. She retained her championship against Mina Shirakawa last night on AEW Forbidden Door. It was a good match. It was a pretty good match. We all kind of knew that Toni Storm would eventually get the W. Not hating on Mina Shirakawa of New Japan Professional Wrestling, but timeless Toni Storm, she's over right now. She's over. She's been number 1 on my list for about maybe 2 to 3 weeks. But at number 1, of course, you have to throw flowers to Mercedes Moné, the New Japan Women's Strong Champion, and retain her AEW TBS championship. And I'm not gonna, God, she has been on fire, absolutely on fire ever since being signed to AEW. I honestly, I'm at loss for words. It's crazy. I can't really, I kind of had a thought. I was like, dude, honestly, I don't think, I feel like Tony Khan's kind of gonna kind of give her the world here. But, you had the chairman of New Japan Professional Wrestling, and you also had the CMLL Mexico Wrestling, and you have Stephanie Vaquer lose her championship, and now Mercedes Moné is double champion. When you become double champion, much like you were Becky Two Belts, Becky Lynch back in, 2021? I think it was. You're going to be number 1 on any list. You have 2 championship belts. Gotta credit Mercedes Moné. 1,010%. I kind of was a little skeptical about it the moment she kind of entered AEW, and it took about a month and a half, 2 months for her to finally get a match. But maybe that was filled with training. Maybe that was filled with a lot of AEW executives. I was like, hey, we don't want her to jump the gun too much. We don't want her re-injuring her foot. But so far, so good. So far, so good. I'm not going to eat my words yet. Although I probably should be because at first I was like, dude, Mercedes Moné, I feel like isn't that great. And, of course, I'm going to take all the lashback. Send in the chat how you feel, obviously. But, it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Well, guys, we're going to end tonight with Ricochet's next move. As of tonight, I'm looking at my computer monitor. 3 more hours. 3 more hours. Ricochet, formerly the WWE Speed Champion, formerly United States Champion, I don't think he won Intercontinental. No, I think he did win the Intercontinental. I think that's the person that Gunther beat to win the title. Is going to be a free agent in 3 hours at midnight. Will the WWE, will we be getting any ringside news, or cage side seats, WWE, AEW notifications saying that he's signing with either company? Who knows? Guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about the subject matter. Get ready to talk about my boy Ricochet. And we're back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about all things WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW, professional wrestling industry, etc., all the action inside and outside of the ring, even some backstage curtain calls, maybe some rumors, potential storylines, major breaking headline news on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about. Segment 1, we talked about our WWE Smackdown review. We talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We talked about the men's power rankings in professional wrestling, and then segment 4, we talked about the women's. And our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about Ricochet. We're going to talk about where Ricochet fits best, where his next move will be. Obviously check out those prior segments on YouTube. And make sure you become a part of this podcast, like and subscribe. Follow the show and the GSMC Sports Network. It's really awesome, pretty awesome. All right, so let's talk about Ricochet, my man Ricochet. So what's next for Ricochet? A lot of opportunities, probably the hottest free agent from WWE, despite, on the men's division in such a long time. WWE moves Ricochet to its alumni section. As his free agent status is unclear. Like I said, his contract expires tonight. If I was Ricochet, no, I don't want to say that. That might be a little, too sudden. Obviously, you have a lot of things from WWE that benefit. You have a lot of things from WWE that definitely benefit. I don't know. It's just this is kind of crazy. Since TKO took over, expiring WWE contracts has kind of taken a different approach. Obviously, you kind of saw Dijak recently being signed by WWE Raw, being drafted. So a lot of people were like, okay, we're going to see Dijak, and Dijak was pissed. You've recently seen it on his, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, /X, that WWE kind of did him dirty. They kind of made him believe that he was going to be signed. And I'm not too sure if this is how it felt with Drew Gulak. Also, who's that other guy? Cameron Grimes. It's kind of up in the air right now. Ever since TKO kind of took over, they're not just like, it's not your regular WWE headlines, but it's like, oh, WWE signs this person for a year or two to kind of fill in those, those jobber positions. But I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. According to Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp claims that from WWE sources say that the move from the alumni section from the main roster is to prepare he found out from WWE sources, is to prepare for Ricochet's departure. Ricochet was recently being written off of TV via a Braun Breaker attack about a month ago, when he sent him through like a windshield, which was super stupid, kind of dumb. I would love to see Ricochet on the WWE roster more than Braun Breaker, but that's just my opinion. Um, it's just I don't know. I just will Ricochet most likely compete in AEW. Will he be someone to kind of move on from WWE? Is it more beneficial for his career to kind of do that? I know WWE's kind of like, they're the beef. They're the beef. They're the milestone. They're the shiz. They're the main thing being talked about in the world of professional wrestling. So I guess being a mid-carder isn't bad. But it got to the point where Ricochet wasn't even a mid-carder anymore. WWE, I felt like WWE ultimately kind of destroyed his character, kind of did not want other wrestling promotions to have him, so they signed him. They kind of botched. They kind of like left him there on his own. Not even on his own. They kind of left him there in the dark. They're like, yeah, dude, no problem, dude. You'll get a title shot pretty soon. It's like, dude, I'm a former New Japan Professional Wrestling junior champion, dude. Like, I've had accomplishments outside of the WWE. Why are you treating me like I'm just some this new guy who's ready to fight wrestling from Ohio Valley Wrestling or something like that? And for that, I feel for Ricochet. I feel like he definitely has been screwed over by the WWE. As much as WWE fans, personnel, creative writers, and officers be like, no, dude, we gave Ricochet his chance. Ricochet, he's within the storyline. So, but he hasn't. No, he hasn't. WWE signed Ricochet for one reason, and one reason only. Kind of like the way that I've kind of refrained this in every single podcast. Just imagine I'm a parent. I have kids. Kids, they don't give a crap about some toy unless some toy is being it's used by somebody else and it's bringing them so much success, so much happiness. And then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, maybe I want that toy. Not because I want to play with it, not because I want to use it to its full potential, mostly because I want to use it, not to spite other companies, wrestling promotions, but to just make sure they don't use this guy to succeed. And I feel like that's the reason why they signed Ricochet. The moment when I saw Ricochet was signed from WWE, I remember his debut. I was like, dude, this guy's going to be hot. This guy's going to be great. He's come from other wrestling promotions, and they sold him short. WWE sold him short. So if you don't see Ricochet on WWE, the only people you have to blame is WWE. So make sure you complain to your congressman or whoever I'm just kidding. No, I'm not, trying to send you guys some wrong way here. But if Ricochet signs with AEW, if Ricochet does sign with AEW, it's it's going to be huge. I personally think that it's best for him. And it's hard to say because he is, he's with Samantha Irving. She's an amazing announcer, probably the next Lillian Garcia of the WWE. So WWE needs to offer this man a pretty generous contract because AEW is totally gunning for this guy. This guy is so smoking hot off the free agency. He's going to be gobbled up real quick. And I just don't, if WWE honestly wants to make the promotion more of an asset as it already is. They created the WWE Speed Championship. I felt like they created that just for Ricochet, because he was the inaugural champion. And now you have Andrade winning. Then you had him against Tommaso Ciampa. With the whole WWE Speed title, I think it's dumb. But that's just my opinion. I think it's kind of stupid. I changed that belt into the light heavyweight championship. Turn that belt into a cruiserweight championship. Do not put it on Twitter for 3 minutes. Awful. I think it's absolutely awful. Obviously these are my opinions. If you have something different, hit it up in the chat. But I don't know, Ricochet is one of those promising, one of those amazing, once in a lifetime superstars that WWE cannot fumble this. WWE cannot lose Ricochet. Because if Ricochet goes to AEW, And if he joins his friend Will Ospreay, obviously him and Will Ospreay are mates. Um, Will Ospreay felt he said it in a obviously he kind of said it to kind of for it to finally get to Ricochet's head. He said in an interview that you kind of gave this guy 3 minutes to showcase his talent, where this guy should be fighting in 10-minute plus matches. This guy should be fighting for Intercontinental title belts, and it's his size. I love Ricochet, but in all realism, I know it's his size, but a lot of wrestlers on AEW are doing quite well, although they are kind of like on the shorter side, kind of like where you see with Will Ospreay, kind of like where you see with Daniel Garcia, with MJF. I feel like Ricochet is better off in AEW. And I'm just saying that not because I feel like WWE totally dropped the ball and effed up, which I agree with 1,010%. But I just want to see him fight. I just want to see this guy on TV. He deserves to be his own entity. He deserves to showcase his talents. He deserves the utmost respect out of any professional wrestling industry. And I want to see Ricochet up to his full potential, which is a problem. Huge problem for WWE in terms of ratings. If this guy is signed to AEW automatically, you have Wembley Stadium coming up. Why not him in a Will Ospreay match? How many pay-per-view sales? How many merchandise sales? How many ticket sales can you have with these two guys who basically know each other like the back of their hands, who's basically been fighting side by side since the moment they were born in terms of professional wrestling? Ricochet, Will Ospreay, that's magic. That's magic. That's chemistry. And that's something that WWE, I felt like they kind of dropped the ball and they're like, oh shit. Like, what did we do? What the hell? Ricochet, I feel like would be a lot better in AEW. And AEW is not, is not off the hook yet. AEW needs to consider this. AEW needs to take this Ricochet free agency seriously. I honestly felt like if you put them in the pool of recent free agent signing, like obviously Will Ospreay's, he loves Ricochet. That's his boy. So if you had to either choose re-signing Jack Perry, the recently won TNT champion, so I thought that was really dumb. But I'll give you guys my analysis on it tomorrow. You got a Mercedes Moné, which was good. Yeah, that was good. I like Mercedes Moné. You had Adam Copeland, Edge. I think love him. Think it's pretty damn awesome. I feel like signing Ricochet would be more beneficial because he's young, he's talented, high flying, charismatic, enthusiastic, hits good promos. This guy, when he stares into a camera and he's like, I challenge you tonight. Like, dude, like, it's hot. It's something that a lot of wrestling fans definitely love. So I feel like Ricochet is a smart move for AEW. It's honestly, he would make such a huge impact on the All Elite Wrestling. And if he's not in All Elite, dude, like he can be in Ring of Honor. He's had his home with Ring of Honor. He's also, had his home with New Japan Professional Wrestling, which is, partnerships within AEW. The smartest move for Ricochet right now is to go to AEW. But like I said, if you guys disagree with me on that, hit me up in the tips, in the chats, in the donations at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me your feelings. Tell me how you feel about Ricochet. Obviously, like WWE fans, I get it. You don't want to see Ricochet go anywhere. I didn't want to see Ricochet go anywhere either. But after watching AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, once in a while, the NWA, AEW, there's other wrestling promotions. And it's kind of crazy how wrestling, I feel like it's kind of heading to a new age where you don't really have that forbidden door anymore. You don't really have that. Well, you do have kayfabe, but a lot of these superstars are connected. They are connected together. Creating for better wrestling is ultimately having people from other promotions wrestling. Like, that's just how it is. That's just, modern day wrestling, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely, in my opinion, amazing. So that's how I feel about the subject matter. Once again, hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. that's it for me today, guys. I know some of you soccer fans are waiting for Emran's soccer podcast at 9:30. Hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also, follow us on Twitter/X, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for more content and updates. Leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. And guys, it really does make a difference. It really honestly does. A small like, a small shout out does a body good. Definitely helps us out. GSMC Sports Network full of a lot of podcasters who care about sports. Probably some of the best reporters and the best journalists I've ever had the pleasure with working with. So yeah, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have college football coming right around the corner with my boy Tommy. We have football next month and a half. We're going to have football, like just stats and news and breaking news and rumors and trades. And it's going to be crazy. Make sure you tune into Kenneth's podcast, the football podcast. Make sure you tune into Manny's Chip Shot football podcast. It's going to be awesome. We have, just a lot of podcasts to check out. But of course, your favorite podcast is the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Right? I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm, talking to wrestling fans. I'm trying to butter up the gravy a little bit, But anyways, guys, have an amazing night. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. And I'm going to see you on an amazing Tuesday. So, hey, stay beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.